Are you looking to start investing? Well, I'm here to help you make that journey as simple and as easy as possible. And for today, I will show you exactly how you can calculate your financial independence number. What is that? Well, that is the amount of money that you will need in order to live completely off of your investment income or your portfolio. And today, like I said, I will show you exactly how to calculate it based on your current or projected expenses. Let's go. Okay, so how exactly do we get to this financial independence number? Well, I have a nice example for you right here, and it's going to help illustrate my point. Let's take a look at Joe here, who spends about 2K per month to live very comfortably. So that means that he can afford his basic expenses, he can afford a holiday now and then, and he can afford his home or car or whatever. And of course, you might be thinking that's way too little money, but it depends entirely on where you live and what your lifestyle is. So if we're doing this together, obviously the numbers would look different. But so what does Joe need to cover his expenses? We're looking at $2,000 a month for 12 months, which is $24K a year is what he needs to generate passively from his portfolio in order to be financially independent. And this is where the financial independence number comes in. So what is the size of the portfolio that should cover this number? Well, we come up with a number of $600,000 based on his expenses per year. But how exactly did we reach that number? Well, allow me to explain. There are some general rules when it comes to investing for financial independence. And what the data tells us is that you can spend roughly 4% of your portfolio per year without eating too much in the principal and still allowing your portfolio to grow, which is of course where we want to be, because if you decide to retire at 45 or 50 or even earlier if you're lucky, that means that you will be living off of that portfolio income, but you still want to have the possibility for that portfolio to sustain you over the 40 years or however that you have to live. And we want to have a safe withdrawal rate that can guarantee the principal will remain intact and will in fact grow a little bit. So that number is 4%. So 24,000 is 4% out of what number? You get that by multiplying 24,000 by 25 and you get 600,000 of Joe's financial independence number. And you can run this calculation at home and figure out what your number is. And then this is important because it will get us to the next step, which I'm going to show you right now. So this is an investment compounding calculator. Now, if you're not aware of what interest compounding is, that is basically how your wealth will snowball over time if you invest in the stock market. If you want me to explain it more in detail, you can just DM me, or alternatively, you can just Google it, and it's fairly self-explanatory. You can find out more information everywhere about this. Let's consider that Joe is starting with an initial investment of 5K. We need his future investment value here to be 600K, which is his financial independence number. So we're going to play with these variables here to see what is the time frame and the interest rate that we can achieve to get him to that number. Well, an average interest rate, meaning a return rate of the S&P, is about, let's say, 11%. That's what it historically has been over the last 10 to 15 years. Let's say Joe wants to invest for 20 years without adding anything additionally. Now, this is going to be pretty far off from where we need to be, obviously. So we have to plan that Joe will be making some additional deposits monthly based on his income. Let's say he can afford $500 or so per month. And we plan to increase these deposits as his salary grows. We plan that roughly he's going to be making, let's say, 20% more each year. And of course, initially the growth of this income is going to be much higher than 20. And after that, it will slow down. But on average, should be about 20%. So that gets us to a number of, well, in this case, well over 600K if he invests like this. And I know this number is incredibly surprising, so let's keep it a bit more conservative. Let's say he's going to invest $300 a month and his annual deposit increase is only going to be 15%. that still gets us over the number that he needs. And this is, of course, the additional deposits, meaning the principal of the amounts he has deposited. And this is the return or the interest that he gets from being in the stock market and investing in a broad market index fund or any of these funds. And we can see broken down here year by year, how much is his interest, how much is the deposits, how much is the total balance. And then it's fairly obvious how the total balance year per year snowballs exponentially based on the interest growth and on the deposit growth. So I encourage you to go online, find one of these calculators. This one is thecalculatorsite.com. Play around with it. You'll be very surprised of what the numbers show you. And I'm sure you might even be fairly skeptical that this thing is even going to work. But I assure you, this is a very historically and data-backed method of growing your wealth. And it's one of the main reasons why the rich keep getting richer. It's one of the secrets, if you will. So this is how your financial independence number ties into your portfolio strategy, because we can then play around with your portfolio to achieve this interest rate. And of course, the years that you plan to invest entirely depends on your age and your investment horizon. But that's it for this video. I hope you found it valuable, and I'll see you in the next one.